Last month, your AI vendor pushed an update to their algorithm. New training data, improved performance metrics, better accuracy, they said. Did anyone at your organization approve that change? Did anyone even know it happened? For most health systems, the answer is no. And that's not a failure of attention, it's a structural problem with how AI gets governed. A Black Book survey found that 60% of hospital AI contracts lack a material change revalidation clause. Now, that means that the vendor can update the algorithm and the hospital has no contractual right to be notified. They cannot review the changes or revalidate performance on their patient population. That tool that you approved 6 months ago may not be the same tool running today. And here's the part that keeps CIOs up at night. 80% of hospital leaders say vendor AI claims are difficult to verify without formal governance. The vendor says it works, and you just have to take their word for it. Now, here's what's happening beneath the surface. When you implement an AI tool, you're not just buying software, you're entering into a relationship where the vendor has ongoing control over a decision influencing system. Traditional software is stable. So you'll buy version 3.2 and it will stay version 3.2 until you choose to upgrade. AI models are not like that. They get retrained. Data sources can change, performance characteristics do shift, and sometimes those changes are absolutely invisible to you. And because most health systems don't have the infrastructure to monitor model behavior continuously, they're relying on the vendor to tell them when something changes. Now, that's not partnership, that's dependency. I want to be clear. This isn't about villainizing your vendors because what they're doing is anything but malicious. They push updates because they believe that that new version is better. But better for their aggregate user base does not mean that it is better for your specific patient population. An algorithm that's trained on data from academic medical centers in urban areas may perform differently in your rural community hospital, and the vendor may never test that. Right now, the burden of validation has shifted. In the old model, vendors proved their product worked before you even bought it. In the AI model, you have to prove it keeps working even after it's deployed. Most organizations haven't even built a governance structure to do that. Now, think about what happens when a model drifts. The algorithm starts flagging more patients as high risk or fewer. Clinicians will notice that something feels off, but they don't have a baseline to compare it against, right? There's not a dashboard showing performance over time, and there's not an audit trail of what changed and when. So by the time anyone starts to investigate, the vendor has already pushed like 3 more updates. And the version that caused the problem, it doesn't exist anymore. This is why governance just can't stop at a deployment. The approval decision you made 6 months ago may be no longer valid, and it may be changing because the model has changed. And the worst part is that you might not even know. So here's what I want you to do this week. Pull your top 3 AI vendor contracts, look for 3 things. First, notification requirements. Does the vendor have to tell you when they've pushed a material update? Second, revalidation rights. Can you require evidence that the updated model performs on your population? Third, version control. Do you even know what version you're running right now? If you can't answer those questions, your governance has a gap. And that gap is where risk accumulates. Closing that gap requires something most governance structures don't have yet, and that's board visibility about decisions. And that's what we're going to talk about next.